Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to discuss the topic that has been on my mind recently, and it is straightwashing. The term straightwashing, also known as headwashing, is a term when queer characters are portrayed as heterosexual by changing their story to fit more in a heteronormative way. So months ago it was announced that a bl novel, A Gangster Became a High School Student, is going to get adapted. Fans were excited to see it since the plot was interesting, and then the cast was revealed, and one of them, the main lead, being Yoon Chan-young, the guy from the famous drama All of Us Are Dead, in which he had more chemistry with Park Solomon than whatever the fuck was going on with girl, but that's a debate for another day. But he became a very well-known face in Korea after that drama, so people were also excited to see this popular actor in a BL, since many famous actors avoid any queer actors because people think it can ruin their image. It reminded me of when this director said that famous actors would agree to play a rapist, offender or murder than a queer character. So when he was announced, many of his fans and international fans were impressed. Then more of the cast was announced, and it was one Taemin, the guy who is known for his role in BL series as You Make Me Dance, Unintentional Love Story, and people were seated. Then the production team released a statement clarifying that this project is not gonna be a BL series. The statement highlighted, the team initially found the premise of the webtoon interesting and attempted to adapt it into a bromance. However, they ultimately changed course due to the ongoing challenge of ensuring commercial success. The entire statement has so many problematic things is funny. First of all, they openly admitted they wanted to make money from the BL fans, that they even tried to adapt this into a bromance because they knew the BL fans would eat this up. But what's funny is that at the same time when the article was released, the cast of Love for Love's Sake sold out their fan meet in 10 seconds. Dramas like Semantic Error, Blooming, The 8th Sense, Unintentional Love Story, Light on Me, and Love for Love's Sake were all commercial successes, so they're thinking that the BL genre doesn't guarantee success is laughable. Secondly, it's just blatant homophobia when they said they even tried to make it a bromance, but even that was problematic to them, but them casting a sex offender was not it. Third, it's just wrong to adopt a queer story and make it straight for your own profit when there is a plethora of straight stories that they could adapt from, because we barely get any lgbtqia+ representation, and then these producers, for the sake of money, basically erased it. So I think we need to stop supporting these types of drama, those who profit from queer media, because Love for Love's Sake is a prime example of bullying works. For those who don't know, Love for Love's Sake is also adapted from a BL novel called Love Supremacy Zone. During the production team it was said that it was gonna be a bromance, but many fans heavily criticized the production company, and then they followed up the original plot, and see, it was one of the most well-known Korean BL.
I think we are losing our views. Many of our viewers are shifting to watch BL genre these days. We have to do something. Sir, I have an idea. What? Why not we add nice good boys love storyline in our dramas from now on? You are fired. Sir, I also have an idea. What do you need for BL drama? 2 boys, right? We have 2 boys in our drama, the main lead and the second main lead. We would give them situations like they have to pretend as a gay couple. They will even kiss but be disgusted by the kiss, and they will hold hands, would sleep in the same bed, would also cuddle, but they are not a couple. We would give both of them a girl in the end. You are promoted.
So on the topic of bromance. For those who don't know, bromance is a term to describe a non-sexual relationship between 2 men, which is a good thing. Especially in countries where men aren't properly allowed to express themselves without their sexuality being questioned, so it's a good thing, right, to normalize men's emotion. That men are allowed to be friends, they can also crave for physical affection with their male friends. So when does bromance start to become queerbaiting? When the bromance is targeted towards the BL audience, when they intentionally add a queer interpretation, not for the sake of normalizing it but more of comedic relief, or as purpose of fanservice, a scene where it adds little to nothing to the plot, but they knows the fans would eat this up, and it's the best way to gain profit from the BL audience while also not losing fans, those who are homophobic. But the thing is with that, when they start normalizing homophobia instead. I am not sure if you ever noticed, but these so-called bromance scenes has always shown as a disgust from the characters while a laughing tracks play on the background.
비싼 건데 먹으면 아씨,
야 뭐하는 거야? 또라이 새끼 저 뒷돌이.
And the audience find it cute or funny as well. These characters are often shown disgusted by the idea of how someone from their same gender has kissed him. Instead of him being comfortable enough with his sexuality, they are shown as disgusted by the idea of 2 guys can kiss each other. And no one calls them out because the audience is watching find this moment as cute, silly moment. Like, I still can't believe in Vincenzo episode 8 people actually ship the main lead who acts gay to get closer to this abusive piece of trash character just because he is gay is literally shown in a cute or funny way, and the fact the sole queer character in entire the show was a perpetrator. I am not saying queer characters can't be the villain, but when you only show them as a rapist, pedos, or just criminal, then it creates a stigma. Especially in a society where queer people are often stereotyped. When we get a character who isn't stereotyped, they will give them the most heart-wrenching storyline, like every character is having their happy ending. Then we have the queer character sitting at a bar alone and depressed, abandoned by his parents. It somehow conveys the message that you can be either happy or be gay. Then we have dramas where the writers decide to give one of the most heart-wrenching, beautiful written friends, enemies to so-called friends trope just to make our main protagonist end up with opposite gender whom they have zero chemistry, no character arc, just for the sake of ratings. For overall I was never the biggest fan of this bromance genre because it left its meaning and purpose a long time ago. Now it's just another form of making money from the queer audience or people who enjoy queer media. The only time I let it pass is China or any other countries that literally ban on queer media because at least it better than nothing. As someone said, lack of representation is a problem but bad representation is also a problem, because the media we watch influence its audience. That's why we need dramas or BL series that have a plot that doesn't normalize toxicity. Because in Korean BL series is still seen as a fantasy genre than reality. I still remember after the success of Semantic Error 2 queer shows were released they were called Happy Marry Queer and His Man. When it was announced the K-nets weren't happy, most of the comments were negative responses and all of them have one thing in common, that how it was okay to watch BL series because BL is a fantasy genre not depiction of queer people, since male-to-male relationship can't happen in real life and implying that same-sex relationship aren't real or just part of fiction. While I do agree BL is mostly takes on utopian world without any homophobia or not exact representation of queer people, but in the end it still portrait a homosexual relationship. So these days BL can be used as medium to normalize same-sex relationships since majority of the audience is straight people, so it would be good if these dramas would show a good representation, because recently I was watching this drama called Jazz for Two and I was so shocked when there was a scene where one of the main lead literally harass our main protagonist and the next day he forgives him in a second. And let's not even talk about the second lead, and the homophobia in all of these characters that was never addressed, and I know I myself made edits about them because I like Hangyum from Omega X, but I would never be able to support any of these relationships in real life because they were straight up toxic, while on the other hand in Love for Love's Sake we have our character being comfortable in their sexuality while also addressing the bullying against queer people. This is the type of drama that comes under the spectrum of good representation that we need, and I hope more dramas like Love for Love's Sake that able to break negative stigma against homosexuality. So that's the end of the video.